Junpei leapt up out of the cellar and ran to the door. Jumpy! The ice on the door, is it gone? Yeah, it's gone. The blast must have shattered it. Yeah, alright, let's see if it opens. Junpei grabbed the knob and pushed with all his might. The door gave way easily and all three of them tumbled out of the freezer at once. Hooray! We're out! June, relieved, collapsed onto the floor. Move. Santa shoved past June and ran straight for the grill, which he immediately grabbed. Oh, wow! Goddamn! Hot. He proceeded to kick the grill in a futile attempt, amusing attempt at rage. But where was Lotus? It took Junpei only a minute to find her. She was sitting on the counter, idly scratching her chest. Ah, welcome back. I was starting to get tired of waiting for you guys. With a great yawn, Lotus lowered herself off the counter. Junpei clenched his teeth and walked towards her. What is Junpei gonna do, everyone? What were you doing? I'm gonna save. All right, no, we still have a little bit we have to do here. What were you doing? What do you mean, what was I doing? I was waiting? We were going to die. Oh, yeah? But you didn't, so everything worked out, didn't it? What the hell? Just kidding. It might not look like it, but I really was worried. Don't give me that crap. I'm telling you the truth. I mean, if you died, then I'd be in trouble too. If you died, then I'd be stuck in here and I'd die too. I did all I could. I even looked around to see if there's anything I could use to pry the door open, but I couldn't find anything. So all I could do was wait. I mean, what else did you want me to do? Call the cops? It was true, there wasn't much she could have done, but something about her tone. Junpei gritted his teeth. Fine. But there was one thing I have to ask you. What's that? You didn't close the door, did you? Junpei gritted his teeth. What? You think I closed the door? On you. You think I closed the door on you? Why would I do something like that? It closed on its own. I told you before, if you die, then I die too. She was right, and Junpei knew it. Without them, she'd be in very serious trouble. It seemed like that an accident was the only explanation for the door's closure. If Lotus had really wanted to kill them, all she would have had to do was at the bar, bar them from the outside. And she hadn't. Well, she hadn't done anything, really. The most she was guilty of was laziness or negligence, not attempted murder. Junpei swallowed his anger and did his best to apologize. Look, well, I'm sorry I doubted you. Oh, yes, well, that's all right, as long as you understand. Lotus looked away and twirled her hair between her fingertips. His vengeance against the grill complete, Santa swaggered back towards Junpei and Lotus. Yo, no more screwing around, you two. Break time's over. We gotta find a way out, especially you, lady. You've been sitting on your fat ass years. We've been freezing ourselves to death. How rude. First of all, my ass is flawless, and I was plenty busy. Yeah, how about you put all that energy into something besides bitching? Let's go. Okay. Looks like a bunch of instructions for using the cooking utensils. Nothing really suspicious about that. We gotta swap our item here. We need to find the knife. Countertop, we've got a rolling pin and a colander. Nothing really useful. Where's the knife? Frying pan and two kinds of pots. Oh, here it is, the grill. We put this meat on the grill. Hey, what are you doing? What are you gonna do if the paper burns? Come on, it'll be fine. I mean, it's not like it's gonna burn right away, right? We just gotta keep an eye on it and the paper will be fine. Well, they can argue all they want. I'm gonna keep an eye on this pork. Cook looks about done. I'm gonna take the paper out. Jumpy, be careful. Sweet of her to think I know what I'm... Ow! See? I told you. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Hurry up and take the paper out. It's not coming out. This thing's frozen stiff. I can't get it out. So, what are we gonna have to cut the meat? Yeah, it looks that way. We're gonna have to cut the meat. We need the knife. A sink. Where's the rusty knife? We need to find rusty knife. A trash can. There's nothing inside of it. Well, better than being full of rotten food, I suppose. Tank full of pipes. Nothing really special about it. Shelf has a white cloth over it. Did I just miss the knife in here? Oh my god, I did. There's milk in here. Milk in an iron barrel. Judging by the rust, it's probably really old. Probably shouldn't open it then. I don't think it'd be pretty sight. There are cans lining every shelf in here. A wooden box on the second row, though. Okay, no. So we gotta go back. Oh man. Table. This table looks really old-fashioned. Probably means it's boat. There are several boxes. The door we came through, it's not gonna. It's locked. Wait. Okay. There it is, this one. Hey, Junpei, where do you think you're going? Oh, I was just thinking of check to see if we missed anything in the freezer. Why, you think we missed something? We searched the whole damn place. We put our lives on the line, man. Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't need to go back there. Where's the knife? An iron oven. It looks heavy duty. It's probably industrial quality. I bet you could cook anything in this. Have a look inside. It won't open. Damn, I knew it. It's locked. Yeah. I need something to cut this pork open. How do I do this? Oh my god. I can't wait for my break. Oh, let's go. No. Oh, let's go. It looks like the area underneath the plate opens up. No, you can't. I already checked. It's sealed shut. I think that's where the coal goes. Oh, damn. I wonder what's in this drawer is. You see it metal grate on the top of the grill? They make it like that so this fat and juices can drip off the bat. Ah, darn. Where's the knife? Like... Okay. Oh my god, this thing opens up. There we go. We got the knife! A rusty knife? I don't think I'll need to use this while it's like this. The knife seems important, Junpei thought, but it wasn't going to be as much use the way it was. It's futile. Futile? You know, a waste, useless, pointless. Any particular reason you wanted to bring that up? Oh, no reason, really. I was just thinking about futility. Which wasn't making much sense. Junpei tried rephrasing his question. Why were you thinking about futility? Alas, she answered. Well, it has something to do with the Titanic. The Titanic? Yeah. Have you ever heard of the story of the sinking that the Titanic was predicted? What option, y'all? Give me an option, please. What option are we gonna pick? Will we pick option 1 or option 2? Option 1 or option 2? What do you wanna see me do? Option 2. Done deal. Option 2. I'm gonna try something else. Oh my god. That's not gonna work. I'm not gonna be able to do that, yeah. I will do option 2. That's not what I'm talking about here. So option 2. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Okay, what is it? Oh man, that was a good stretch. In 1892, 14 years before the Titanic sank, a novel was published. It was called Futility. It was written by an American novelist named Morgan Robertson. The story was about a big cruise ship colliding with an iceberg and sinking. Of course, if that was the only similarity there was, it wouldn't be a reason to mention it. 1 second. I'm gonna post something in my chat in a second for y'all. So everybody check my chat in a second. I'm gonna post, oh, I gotta post it there, don't I? If I do that, it wasn't though. The name of the ship, its nationality, course, departure time, size, displacement, max speed, number of passengers, crew, the number of lifeboats, even the location of the accident itself and the cause of the location of the damage. Everything matches the Titanic almost exactly. It was almost as if he'd seen the whole thing happen. But this book was written 14 years before the Titanic sank. But that's not all. It wasn't just Futility that predicted the sinking of the Titanic. There were two other similar stories written by a man named William Thomas Stead, both of them before the accident, one in 1886 and one in 1892. Stead wrote two stories that have striking resemblance to the Titanic disaster. In one, two ships collided and many of passengers died because they weren't enough lifeboats. In the other, a ship collided with an iceberg and sank. I don't know. I mean, I give you that seems a little bit weird, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't uncommon for ships to hit icebergs back in the day, or even other ships. Right. I know you'd say that. Uh-huh. But what if Stead had some sort of special powers? To be more specific, what if he had the ability to do automatic writing? What is automatic writing? Are you talking about the thing where someone says they're possessed by a spirit and then they write down a bunch of stuff without knowing what they're writing? Yeah. What do you mean, yeah? The stuff's a load of bull. But Jumpy, you said you believe in curses. Come on, that's totally different, okay? Look, so hypothetically, that automatic writing isn't a total load. These guys still couldn't have predicted the sinking of the Titanic. When his Stead dude wrote his thing, nobody died on the Titanic yet. So if automatic writing is being possessed by spirits of dead people, who the hell is possessing him so he could write that stuff? That's not it. What's not it? Stead wasn't possessed by a spirit. He was doing the possessing. What are you smoking? William Thomas Stead was a passenger on the Titanic. He wrote down what he saw with his own eyes. Check out oh. One link. Oh, it's not gonna work. It literally will not let me link that. Okay, but they're real things. I want you to know. So, do you want me to deepen the plot here? These things exist in our world. This is real. So, we're gonna take a second to talk about this. William Thomas Stead is a real person who died on the Titanic, who wrote a novel. Futility is a legitimate novel. So I just want you to stew on that for a brief second here while I take a drink. All right, here we go. 20 years before it happened. He decided it was probably best to say nothing. What June was saying was insane and utterly absurd. If he tried to take what she was saying seriously, he'd go mad. Junpei smiled uncomfortably. Well, why don't we talk about this some other time, okay? Huh? But... Her voice trailed off and she glanced at the floor, troubled. Tap, tap. Junpei tapped June gently on the shoulder and awkwardly reached around her to pick up the knife from the box. Okay, combine with the whetstone. Maybe I'll use the whetstone to sharpen the knife. Let's go. Now we have a sharp knife. The blade of the knife is getting sharper by the second. I should be able to cut something pretty good with this. All right, now that I've sharpened the knife, yes, I cut the pork. Awesome, Junpei, now we can cut out the paper. C plus 10 plus F. Okay. Okay. C plus 10 plus F. A voucher, it says appetizer 9, meat dish man. Okay. This is probably what you're supposed to use to enter the password. Maybe if we put in the right number, it'll open the oven door. Yeah, I know. Why don't you enter those numbers? E is for enter and C is for clear. So basically when I'm ready to see my answer, I press E. So if I screw up, I just press C, correct? Lotus nodded. All right, let's give it a shot. Let's go ahead here and grab what we need here. We don't need to solve the puzzle because we did it. It's the plates. We already have it. It's C plus 10 plus F in hexadecimal. So hexadecimal would be 10, A, B, C, so 11, 12, 13. So 13 plus 10 plus F is 16. 131016, I think. 1310. Oh, what? There. Okay, what? 36. Here. No, it's not the right password. Okay, well, we're gonna look it up because we know it's the plates. It's not hexadecimal though. 11, 12, 13. Yeah. Go ahead and get this up. Just kitchen. 43. Go. We were close. Our math was just off because we literally don't know how to count. I was right. I was just wrong. I did the wrong numbers. I'm a dummy. Sounds like metal is falling. I just didn't do hexadecimal right. So yeah, that's what I did wrong. Go back. Let's take the card key. Yeah, the door opened. Good job, Jumpy. Now we have the Saturn key, everyone. Go. Yeah, we did it. It's unlocked now. You did it, Jumpy. Let's get out of here. Yeah, let's go. Oh man, that means we're taking our break here in a sec. We found it. They stepped out of the kitchen into a hallway that looked rather familiar. Let's continue on here. They stepped out of the kitchen into the hallway that looked rather familiar. A metal grate stretched from wall to wall. Beyond it, there were 2 elevators and an entrance to a kitchen. They had entered the kitchen from one door and came out the other. That meant that the map of the ship's interior was accurate. They laid out a map in front of them and began to discuss their next step. There were 4 possible routes. A, B, D, and C. A, B, D, C. First, A and B. A and B both seem to connect to an L-shaped room. However, the 2 doors led to the room. Lead to the room. Were both locked and could not be opened. C was next. This goes all the way back to the main staircase. That means door 5, one of the multi-number doors. Then do you think we'll meet up back with the other 4 after this hallway? No, I don't think we will. Why not? Look. There, by the stairs. See how the gate is opened? We went into the kitchen, it was closed. But it's open now. What do you think that means? They opened it. Most likely. Then if we take Route C, we're going backwards? That would be pointless. Then that means all 4 looked at the map. They all looked at the staircase, its lazy curve leading down deeper into the ship. Route D it is then. D it is. Yep, Route D. And we're all set. They jogged down the stairs until they reached the C deck. Just to be sure, they kept going to check the deck beneath. Yeah, just like I thought, D deck's totally underwater. Just the bottom of the central staircase. The water gazed back at them with smooth surface like a giant great mirror. As ominous as it was, Junpei took at least some comfort in the fact that the level hadn't gone up much since the last time he'd seen it. They turned back to C deck. It didn't take long for the 2 to find It didn't take them long to find the 2 elevators in front of the stairs. Oh, yeah, it looked identical to the elevators on the top floor with one exception. These elevators had a card reader on the wall between them. Or on the card reader was a strange mark. Hey, look, it's Lotus' symbol. Huh? Yeah, see, it's the woman symbol with a thorn on it. That seems like... Ow, 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 ow. Lotus is Lotus. What are you doing, dog? Lou? Lay down. Lay down, bud. Oh, all right. Lotus had taken a hold of Junpei's hair. She began to shake him violently and thought he had heard a low growl come from her throat. Such violence. Junpei began to wonder if she was not the devil herself. With an uncomfortable smile, June spoke up. This is the Mercury symbol. A thorn. This thorn represents the wings on Hermes' staff. Hermes, herpes, whatever, who cares? If we don't get this thing to work, elevators aren't going anywhere. In other words, we need a card key with the Mercury symbol. Probably. They gave up on the elevator and returned to the stairs. A hallway stretched out to the left. A great many doors lined both sides of the hallway. And they weren't sure how many, but certainly enough to be discouraging. Damn it, if we try searching all of them, sun's gonna go down before we've got even half of them done. What's this dog do? I'm sorry, my dog's doing something like, let's go. Look at this. Look at what I'm looking at here. This is bullshit. Are you joking? Let me see if I can do this. Look at this. This is what I'm looking at right now. Fucking caught red-handed. Caught in 4K. Caught in fucking 4K, aren't you, bud? Anyway, we're back. Sorry, he's trying to make his area more comfortable. Agreed. I think the sun's already set. I have a feeling the ship's the only thing that's going to be going down anytime soon. Yeah, he's like, whatever, Dad. That's even worse. Well, we could come back to this hallway later. Let's check the hallway on the other side, shall we? Frustration and fear building, they walked back to the stairs. To their right was a small hallway. Quickly, they headed into it. It was approximately the same size as the alcove in front of the stairs. A hallway led to the stern, and at its end was a set of double doors. Let's open it. Junpei nodded and grabbed the one closest to him. He gave it a small tug and felt it move. It was unlocked. Thrilled to have found the unlocked door, he threw it open. Junpei didn't know what to make of what he saw. What did Junpei see? He simply stood, unable to speak. The others simply stared open-mouthed. After a few long moments, Santa managed to speak. What the hell's this? A massive room stretched out in front of them, more a cavern than a room. Its vastness was oppressive, and it bore down on the four companions. It was not empty, however. The entire room was filled and lined with lines upon lines of beds. They were simple things, little more than pipe with thin mattresses. Is this a hospital? He had at last been able to put a name to the harsh scent that pervaded the room. The room swam with the harsh, bitter smell of antiseptic. In the center of the room were shelves stacked with medicine and a number of medical devices, the function of which Junpei did not know. More importantly, however, the back wall of the room were 4 doors. 3 of them were emblazoned with large single-digit numbers made with thick red paint. The door on the left was labeled 3. The door on the second from the left had no number, but the third had been given a 7, and the fourth, the rightmost door, had an 8. There could be no doubt there were more numbered doors. It did strike Junpei as strange, however, that the door between 3 and 7 should be blank. What, he wondered, it could mean. Let's take a look at the doors. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Junpei headed towards the doors, weaving his way between the beds. He stared at door 3 on the left and moved to the right until he reached door 8. It's no use. Well, of course. If it were that easy to open these doors, there wouldn't be the point of the nonary game. We have to activate the red or the numbered doors won't. Wait a minute. What's wrong? Look at the display on the red. There's nothing on it. Huh? Don't you remember the red at the central staircase? If no one was inside, it said vacant. Oh yeah, you're right. But this one, there's nothing on it. Right. So I wonder if it's broken. Only one way to find out. Giving the old high five, y'all. Bam. 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 It didn't respond. All 4 took turns placing their hands on the red, but it refused to respond. They pulled up the lever and still it did nothing. As soon as they discovered it wasn't the only red for the door 8 that was behaving strangely. The red on door 7 also refused to respond. And 3 was similarly silent. None of them would respond. What did it mean? I knew it. They're broken. 0 sure sucks at maintenance. No, that's impossible. You really think 0, who prepared all of this, would make such a simple mistake? Maybe that, but that doesn't explain why this thing ain't working. It was at that moment they heard a voice from behind them. I believe the bottom of the device has been removed. They spun around to see... Snake! But it was more than just Snake. Ace, Clover, and 7 quickly filed into the room as well. Although they were glad to see one another, it wasn't terribly surprising that they had. If it had been the other party who'd opened the gate in front of the kitchen, it would be unreasonable that they'd bump into one another eventually. The rest of the Snake's team, however, did look rather surprised. How? How did you end up here? After a moment of silence and surprise, everyone suddenly began to talk, desperate to exchange information. They talked about the rooms they'd been in. They talked about how they'd end up in the same place. Of course, well, none of this was very useful information, but that hardly mattered. They were happy to simply see each other again. Although the level of cheer varied from person to person, each one of them was wearing some sort of smile. Almost as if they were forgotten about the death of the 9th man. No, thought Junpei, perhaps that wasn't it. Perhaps thought of his death where that drove them to smile at one another. Not in a morbid or hateful way, the 9th man had died, but they were still alive, and that was something to be happy about. A sort of simple, uncomplicated joy. Junpei thought, the joy of being alive. Still alive. Felt sorry for the 9th man, but more than anything, Junpei just felt happy to be alive. There you have it, our half of the story. His part finished, Ace fell silent. And before we continue, just let me go ahead and give a quick shout out to Litchibat. If you're watching this in post, she did all the awesome animatics for this channel. Go ahead and give her a follow. I mean, I'm going to go ahead. You see her channel there in the chat. If you're not already, she's going for affiliate. Just go ahead and, show her some love. She's an awesome streamer. She's my best friend, and I know she would appreciate it. His part finished, Ace fell silent. For a moment, Junpei was silent in thought, and then he spoke. Okay, so let me just see if I got this straight. When you guys got here, the bases of the red were already gone. And you looked all over this room, but you couldn't find anything? So you figured that there might be something in the hallway with all the doors. So you went to have a look. Yeah. And when you were looking around, you heard voices. Uh-huh. So you followed the voices and came back here. Indeed. And that is how we found you. Junpei examined the 3 reds again, just in case. On the bottom of each was a long, thin gap. It looked like a slot for something. Probably something electronic. Well, this isn't good. If the red is inactive, we can't keep going. Well, what about that hallway over there? Isn't there somewhere else we can go? No, there isn't. There are plenty of more hospital rooms, but nothing else. Hospital rooms? That's what's behind all these doors. Yes. There's a number of individual rooms. Oh, here they are. In addition to this large one. There was a door at the end of the hallway, but it was locked. There is an astrological symbol engraved near the keyhole, however. I'm able to get a good feel for it. I believe it's the symbol of Jupiter. Oh, not again! These damn things are everywhere! I wonder what it all means. For a moment, they were silent, deep in thought. While we're asking these things, I mean, what's the deal with this room? Looking for my other sock, y'all. I got cold toesies. I mean, I thought this was a cruise ship, but I can't imagine a cruise ship. Hmm. I can't imagine a cruise ship would have a hospital like this. Of all the people, it was 7 who answered with calm confidence. Well, I figure it's probably a hospital ship. Chances are, it's the Gigantic. The Gigantic? Junpei looked confused. So did everyone else. What is the Gigantic? 7 or Gigantic? Gigantic? It's the Gigantic, I'm sorry. 7 knit his brows for a moment, then began to explain. Oh, the Gigantic. He explained that she had been the sister ship to the Titanic, built in the early 20th century. The Titanic had 2 sister ships who were identical to one another in nearly every aspect. The Gigantic was said to be one of them. Oh, there it is. It's way back there. Okay, here we go. She was initially intended to be a passenger liner like the Titanic, but soon after the ship launched, the First World War began, and she was pressed into duty by the British Navy as a hospital ship. Sometime later, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in the Aegean Sea. She managed to run aground after the incident and consequently was not sunk. What then happened to the Gigantic after her fateful encounter in the Aegean Sea? One theory named that a man named Lord Gourdain purchased her. Lord Gourdain, it seemed, had been one of the few survivors of the Titanic tragedy, and the trauma had turned him into an obsessive collector of all things related to the Titanic. And as his obsession deepened, he began to desire the Titanic itself. That, of course, was impossible. The Titanic lay at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. The Gigantic, however, had not suffered such a dire fate, and as she was identical to her sister ship, she caught Lord Gourdain's eye. So you're saying this Lord Gourdain bought the ship? Seems like it. As far as I can tell. It's impossible. You're saying some boat that's over 100 years old? Pipe down, just pay attention. What is it? Was that it? We've got any more proof? Proof? Proof that this ship is the Gigantic? Well, ship's got stuff, the Titanic and the hospital ship, so I just kind of figured. Oh, for goodness sake, tell me that's not your only reason. No, I got more. Like? Well, I mean... 7 looked around desperately, doing anything to avoid meeting Lotus's piercing stare. He scratched his head for a moment, then gave up. Finally, he opened his mouth. I don't know. Lotus sighed and shook her head. Guess your memory isn't back yet, is it? Yeah, sorry about that. Hey, wait a minute. Memory isn't back? Junpei he felt legitimately shocked what seemed to be new and very important information. Everyone else, however, seemed unimpressed. In fact, they all looked at Junpei as though he had said something very strange. He decided to revise his attitude for the next question. Wait, was I the only one that didn't know? Everyone nodded. Wow. Oh, yeah, I guess I didn't tell you, huh? Ah, shit. I told the rest of them before I ran into you on the stairs. I told them I couldn't remember a damn thing before I woke up. What? Then, almost as if to save Junpei from further embarrassment, A bell began to ring from far away. It sounded as though it was the clock at the main stairway. Junpei counted each chime carefully. 10, 11, 12. It's midnight. Then we still got 6 hours left, right?
No, we don't have time to screw around. Let's get going. We gotta find the missing parts for the Reds.
What do you mean find? How on earth do you propose we do that?
We looked everywhere in this room. That only leaves one place to look.
One?
Oh, well, yeah, I guess that's not really right.
Wait. Don't tell me we need to search each of the other rooms.
Don't freak out. We already searched 4 of them.
4?
Man, we just gotta split up the rest of 8 between us. We do person does 6 rooms, that'll be 48 rooms done in no time.
So there are 48 rooms left. Her earlier experiences had apparently not encouraged Lotus to trust Seven. Seven scratched his head awkwardly.
Oh.
After a little bit more discussion, they split up and headed towards the rooms to begin searching. Junpei had chosen to search the rooms on the starboard side, moving from fore to aft. They also determined when they would return to report their findings, the next time the clock sounded the time. When it did, they would meet back in the large central room full of beds. If, during their search, any one of them were able to locate the missing components, they were to yell to the others. If this strategy failed, they discussed their options later. The details decided, they left to begin searching. Out in the hallway, they each went their separate ways into the rooms they were assigned. However, from far away, Junpei heard the bell ring. It did so only once. It was 1 a.m. He jogged through the entrance of the large hospital room to find 6 of the others already there. Predictions in chat. Who's missing? Who do y'all think is missing? We know Junpei's there, and we're missing what? 1 person? Who's missing? Who's not there? We'll be right back. I'm going to let y'all stew on that for a minute. Oh. Letting y'all stew on that just for a minute. Go ahead here and get this set up. All right. He jogs through the room and finds 6 of the others already there. Ace, Santa, Clover, June, Seven, and Lotus. They had gathered in front of the door number 8. Or perhaps to be accurate, they had gathered in front of the red next to the door number 8. Had one of them found the missing piece? What happened, guys? It was June who answered him. Jumpy, look! She was pointing at the red. He pushed through the others until he stood in front of it. Immediately, he knew what she had meant. The display on the front of the red read vacant. Junpei sighed. Come on, guys, who was it? I thought we were supposed to yell if someone found it. The computer just being weird, or does she like look really not good? Looks kind of sick to me. Sickly. I don't know. Well, Junpei wondered why she was hesitating. The others looked as confused as June, but kept their mouths shut. What the hell? What is up with you guys? They all knew something he didn't, and Junpei wasn't about to leave things that way. Finally, Lotus frowned and spoke. Well, that's the thing. We don't know. You don't know. When I got back, it was already like this. There was no one else here. That means I was the first one back, but the missing parts were already back in the red. Junpei looked at the bottom of the red again, just to make sure. The slot had been open on the bottom, now was covered with metal. Clearly, whatever had been missing had been returned. What about the other two? Well, they're in the same. They are the same. Junpei quickly examined the other two boxes. Satisfied that they are also repaired, but still very confused, he returned to the others. Alright, I just want to be sure here. Nobody has any idea what the hell happened, right? Ace and June nodded silently. Seven raised his hand as if to say, not me. Hands as if to say, not me, and Santa just shrugged. Only Clover lowered her head and did nothing. Huh? Wait a minute. That was when he noticed. Where's Snake? Junpei swept his eyes across the room a second time, but Snake was nowhere to be seen. Does that mean he found them? I have no idea. There's nothing to suggest it, but nothing to suggest he didn't either. I don't suppose we'll know until we ask him in person.
Whatever. He did or didn't do, he's pretty damn late. Where the hell is up to?
Maybe he's lost.
Yeah, well, it seems likely. Dude can't even see, you know, how he just get around in a world like that.
Clover raised her head. No, that's impossible! Suddenly she was shouting. My brother's blind, but he's really great at hearing. He can get around as well as anybody who can see, so he couldn't have gotten lost. That's impossible! Clover had started to shake, and the knuckles of her hands had gone white. She spun around, but before she did, Junpei noticed tears welling up in her eyes. I'm gonna go look for him. The words were barely out of her mouth when she began to run. Hey, hold on, Clover, wait! Junpei cried out to her, but he was too slow. She kept going, and before anyone else could react, she was gone. Damn it! What should we do now? Well, the idea is working now. We're not leaving two people behind. We should go and look for them. Oh man, this ain't good. Oh yes, what an excellent idea. We're just gonna waste a bunch of time looking for some piece of electronic junk. Now, let's waste a bunch more time looking for a couple of idiots. Then remain here if you feel you must, but there's no time. We've only 5 hours left. Yo! Check out my buddy Ryan if you're new to the channel. Bot just plugged him. Awesome guy. We only got 5 hours left. Junpei and the others nodded to one another and took off at a run. In front of the staircase led to B deck. They decided to split up. They quickly assigned search areas and went their separate ways. Soon, only 2 of them were left. Those 2 were Junpei and June, who had been a few steps behind the others. All right, we should go too. Yeah, let's go. But where should we start? Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, or 4, everyone. I need an option. Oh, I'm gonna stretch here. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Where do we want to go first? Let's just get this out of the way, I think. The casino. How about the casino on deck B? Sounds good to me. They took off up the stairs in a run. Hey, stop! Take your treat and go. Before they knew it, they were there. So was Lotus. She was leaning up against the wall examining her nails. Hey, what do you think you're doing? She glanced up at him, unimpressed. Isn't obvious? I'm looking for Snake.
I'm just not seeing it.
Really? Maybe you need to look harder. I didn't think that was the problem. Oh, by the way, I've got a proposal for you two. Care to hear it?
Do we want to listen to our proposal, everyone? We're gonna be ending the stream here pretty soon. I'm getting pretty hungry. I need to get food. Yeah. Does anybody have a request for if we wanted to do this? What we want to choose here? We're just getting something set up here. Oh man, I'm getting tired. I think I'm gonna hear her out. What is it? Well, I don't like to beat around the bush, so I'll get right to it. Why don't we team up? Team up? Yeah, you know, what if you need to explain it to you? I'm saying, why don't we go through a numbered door? Even if we wanted to, that's impossible. Why? Jumpy's bracelet number is 5, mine is 6, and yours is 8. Our digital route would be 1. But there's no number 1 door in the large hospital room. Only 2 doors. Only doors are 3, 7, and 8. Then we add another person. Huh? Who? Well, isn't that easy? 7. She was right. If they added 7... the math adds up. Then they would be able to go through the number 8 door. But whoa, hold on a second. What about the other 4? Why don't you add them up? That was simple enough. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 1. The digital root of those 4 would be 1. That's right. And you know the number 1 door isn't in the big hospital room, right? Of course I know that. No, you aren't saying you'd leave them behind? Of course not. What kind of woman do you think I am? Once we get off the ship, we should come back and rescue them, couldn't we? We really wouldn't be leaving them behind. Don't try and lie to us. I don't think you do anything of the sort. Really? Why do you think that? You remember, don't you? We have less than 5 hours left. Even if we manage to escape, there's no way we could come back and rescue them in less than 5 hours. Well, you never know unless you try. No. You're not thinking this through. Even if we brought 7 with us, we wouldn't be able to get off the ship. The 4 of us couldn't open the 9 door. It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9. Yeah, that's right. The digital route for us 4 would be 8, so we'd need to add Ace to make 9. Yeah, right. Unless we bring Ace too, we will totally be stuck. Lotus scratched the back of her ear. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. She didn't sound particularly bothered by what Junpei said, nor did she really seem particularly surprised. Well, let's try and find another way, okay? A way that we can get all 8 of us out. That's impossible. You're being serious? You do know that only 5 people at most can go through one of the numbered doors, right? And the number 9 isn't going to be an exception to that rule. Regardless, at least 3 people will get left behind. You're right, that is true. The moment he said it, Junpei had felt a chill down his spine. It was true. A Lotus could remain so cavalier about such a terrifying prospect was beyond him. When they found the number 9 door, they would have to choose 3 of them to die. Lotus's forehead furrowed. Do you think I could have a moment alone? There are some things I need to think about. Junpei and June turned around and walked away from Lotus. Talking to her left them feeling ill. Junpei's heart felt heavy and his steps sluggish. But he told himself pessimism would get them nowhere. So he forced himself to smile and turned to June. Let's just focus on signing Snake for now. Yeah, you're right. We could think about the other things later. Junpei nodded. Right, where should we go next? And that... we're gonna leave it for now. If you liked the video, consider leaving a like, follow, and subscribe. Check us out on other social medias linked in the description. Bye now.